Leeds United, the Whites are back in the spotlight. Hey there, Whites faithful. What's going on, Leeds family? I'm coming at you with some absolutely massive news that's going to shake Elland Road to its core. You know what? Before we dive into this roller coaster, make sure you smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button because we're bringing you all the Leeds United drama as it happens. Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you involves 3 earth-shattering stories that are going to change everything we thought we knew about our beloved club. We're talking about a Brazilian midfielder who's just delivered a crushing blow to our transfer hopes, a goalkeeper hunt that's turned into an absolute nightmare after Sunderland destroyed us in the market, and an American winger who could be the bargain of the century. I'm not even joking when I say this. The first story involves a former Premier League star who was supposed to be our marquee signing, but there's a devastating twist that nobody saw coming. The second story, it's about how our rivals have completely embarrassed us in the transfer market, stealing 3 of our targets right from under our noses. And the third story, oh boy, the third story is about a potential game changer who could cost us half the price of what we just missed out on. Are you ready to find out which Brazilian maestro has just crushed Daniel Farke's dreams? Can you handle the truth about how Sunderland absolutely obliterated us in the transfer market? And most importantly, are you prepared for the revelation about an American talent who could be our salvation for just £13 million? Because once you hear what I'm about to tell you, you'll understand why this summer is make or break for the Whites. Let's dive into the first story that's got every Leeds fan's heart breaking. Alright, Whites faithful, here it is, the moment that's going to break your hearts. The Brazilian midfielder I was talking about is none other than Douglas Luiz. And let me tell you, this rejection is absolutely devastating. You thought we had a real chance at landing this former Aston Villa and Manchester City star, but what's just happened is going to make every Leeds fan sick to their stomach. Here's the brutal truth. Douglas Luiz has completely rejected our approach. Despite Juventus being desperate to get rid of him after a disastrous season in Serie A, despite them being willing to take a massive financial hit, despite us having a 150 million transfer budget, this guy has basically said thanks but no thanks to coming to Elland Road. Can you believe it? We're talking about a player who managed just 19 Serie A games, failed to score or assist even once, and has been put up for sale by Juventus after just 1 season. They were ready to loan him to us with a 30 million option to buy, which would have been an absolute steal considering they paid 42 million for him just last year. But here's where it gets absolutely infuriating. According to Italian outlet Tutto Sport, Luiz has no desire to move to Elland Road this summer. He'd rather stay in Italy and potentially join another Serie A club than come and help us dominate the championship. The audacity, the absolute disrespect to everything we represent as a club. This is a player who was so poor in Italy that Juventus were practically begging us to take him off their hands, and he still thinks he's too good for Leeds United. It's the kind of rejection that cuts deep, especially when you consider that Daniel Farke desperately needs a marquee signing in midfield to complement our 150 million war chest. The worst part? We're now back to square one, looking at alternatives like Calvin Phillips, Southampton's Matheus Fernandes, Gustavo Hamer, and Emi Buendia. But none of them have the star power and Premier League experience that Luiz would have brought to our promotion push. This rejection might have just cost us our best chance at a statement signing. But wait, because the pain doesn't stop there. It gets even worse when you hear about our transfer market humiliation. Hold on to your scarves, Whites faithful, because this second story is going to make you absolutely furious. Remember when I mentioned how our rivals destroyed us in the transfer market? Well, we're talking about Sunderland, and what they've done to us is nothing short of complete and utter humiliation. Here's the absolutely devastating truth. Sunderland have stolen not 1, not 2, but 3 of our reported targets right from under Daniel Farke's nose. We're talking about a transfer market obliteration that's going to haunt us for the rest of the summer. First, they swooped in and signed Habib Diarra from RC Strasbourg after we had multiple bids rejected. This was supposed to be our midfielder, our creative spark, our 30 million statement signing, but it gets worse. They then agreed a deal to sign Noah Sadiki, another player we had reportedly bid for this summer. 2 targets gone, just like that. But here's the kick in the teeth that really stings. They've also agreed to sign Djordje Petrovic from Chelsea, who was supposed to be our replacement for the out-of-favour Ilan Meslier. Can you imagine the absolute chaos this is causing at Thorpe Arch? Daniel Farke must be pulling his hair out, watching our promotion rivals strengthen their squad with players that should be wearing white. We're supposed to be the team with the 150 million budget. We're supposed to be the ones making the big moves, but instead we're getting schooled by Sunderland. And now, in desperation, we've reportedly turned our attention to Torino's Anja Milinkovic-Savic, a towering 6'8" goalkeeper who could cost us £11.4 million. This Serbian shot stopper has been absolutely phenomenal for Torino, and with his impressive reach and commanding presence, he could be the perfect solution to our goalkeeper crisis. But here's where it gets absolutely mental. There are already reports that Napoli were close to agreeing terms with Milinkovic-Savic in what would have been an $18 million deal. We're talking about a goalkeeper who has a $19.5 million release clause, and now we're desperately trying to hijack this deal before another club snatches him away. Transfer expert Graham Bailey revealed that Leeds are trying to downplay the fact they were in direct competition with Sunderland. But come on, how can you downplay getting absolutely destroyed in the market by a rival who's supposed to be at the same level as us? This is embarrassing on a level that makes every Leeds fan question whether we're actually ready for this Premier League return. But just when you think all hope is lost, there's a potential silver lining that could change everything. White's faithful, brace yourselves, because this final story might just be the redemption arc we've all been waiting for. The American winger I've been building up to is none other than Timothy Weah, and what I'm about to tell you could be the transfer coup that saves our entire summer. Here's the absolutely incredible truth. While we're getting rejected by Douglas Luiz and embarrassed by Sunderland, Juventus are willing to sell Timothy Weah for just $13 million. That's right, $13 million for a versatile right winger who can also play as an attacking fullback. That's literally half the price of what Sunderland paid for Habib Diarra. We're talking about the son of legendary striker George Weah, a 25-year-old USA international who has all the tools to dominate that right flank for Daniel Farke. According to L'Equipe, it would only take $13 million to pry him away from the Italian giants, and considering our desperate need for attacking reinforcements, this could be the bargain of the century. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. None other than Neymar himself has praised Timothy Weah. Back in 2019, the Brazilian superstar said, "From what I've seen of his talent, he has everything to go and become one of the top attacking players in Europe." When Neymar gives you that kind of endorsement, you know you're dealing with serious talent. Think about it. We could potentially replace Manor Solomon with a player who's younger, hungrier, and costs a fraction of what other clubs are paying for similar talent. This is exactly the kind of smart business the 49ers should be doing, especially after the Sebastian Bornau signing for just £8 million. Weah's versatility is exactly what Farke needs. He can terrorize defenses from the wing, track back to help defensively, and his pace and crossing ability could be the perfect complement to our attacking setup. At £13 million, this isn't just a good deal, it's highway robbery, so here we are. White's faithful, 3 stories that perfectly capture the roller coaster that is Leeds United's transfer window. We've been rejected by a Brazilian who thinks he's too good for us. We've been absolutely humiliated by Sunderland in the market, but we might just have found our diamond in the rough with Timothy Weah. The question is, are you ready to move on from the Douglas Luiz disappointment? Can you forgive the 49ers for getting outmaneuvered by Sunderland? And most importantly, do you think Timothy Weah could be the signing that changes our entire season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you think we should go all in for Weah. And don't forget to smash that like button if you want to see more Leeds United content that hits different. Because at the end of the day, we're all White's faithful, and we're all in this crazy journey together, marching on together.